you know, I think there's like, 1,000 animals euthanized each year in this country. It's, I mean, my friend worked at the PHS up at Coyote Point, and she said you just have these 55-gallon drums, and you just have barrels and barrels and barrels of animals.
I mean, I was probably 10 or 12 when I realized that there was something really wrong with that whole picture. And so I started to think about becoming a vet. And then as I got through high school, that's really what I thought I wanted to do. And I started volunteering for some humane societies. And I kind of decided at that point that, I really was interested in this whole cat overpopulation thing. And I was going to try to make a difference in doing that. And so I cannot take care of every kitten that's born in Bay Area or in Redwood City. We got, I think, 150 kittens in between June and July. 150 kittens were dropped off here, or left in the alley, or someone brought in, this was a great day, someone brought in a bunch of donations in paper bags. One of the paper bags had 4 kittens at the bottom of it. The rest of them had towels and paper towels and food, and there were 4 kittens. He dropped it in the front and he left. If you really have a passion for animals and you don't want to euthanize, and you need to get into the spay-neuter movement, and whether you go to be a veterinarian or you're a technician, or you just want to work at a clinic or a shelter and you want to help promote that idea, that's where it needs to start. Everybody needs to start somewhere.
I've been a volunteer for 9 Lives for 4 years, and before that I volunteered for the Peninsula Humane Society in San Mateo and Pets in Need in Redwood City and the Homeless Cat Network in San Carlos. And I've always had a passion for cats, and this is my way of, when I'm retired, just to give back. And I just love it. I just love it. Just walked in one day, filled out an application, and the rest is history.
That's where you could set a food bowl down any place around here and you'd get a cat. Unfortunately, they're really good at reproduction. And the thing about the cat, as compared to like a raccoon or a rabbit or squirrels or birds, is they are considered a domestic animal. So they don't fall under a protection. Like the feral cats that, like for instance, there's a big controversy in the Everglades with feral cats going after the birds, or even here in San Francisco. Take Golden Gate Park. The bird lovers really hate the feral cats because they say that they go after the birds. But so you always have that controversy. So it's the thing is the feral cats don't get protection when they get in a shelter that's under the state law. Is that they kill them.
I very, very rarely have to do it. But if you work at a shelter, let's say a humane society or an animal control, and you get boxes every day of kittens, and first you get 8 at 9 in the morning, and then at noon here comes another load of 10, and then and then by the end of the day you have 50 new kittens. Where are you going to put them all? Because that's just Monday. And then Tuesday it starts over. Where are they going to go? You can only house how many the cats you have cages for. So your whole shelter gets filled up on Monday, and then here comes Tuesday, and then here comes a whole nother batch. So then you have to euthanize the ones from Monday to make room for the ones from Tuesday. And the people that work there, I don't know how they do it. I would be suicidal every day.
There's so many cats here. What we do is, if there isn't people coming in to look for adoptions at the moment, we just pet all the cats, socialize them, those that need more petting than others, but that's basically, and brush them and check to see if they have their food and water, and that's basically what we do, and play with them, have them just sit on the floor, or pet all the cats in the cages, and that's what we do. That's basically what the job entails for a volunteer in the shelter. And then when people come in to look for adoptions, we steer them to a cat that will be suitable for what they're looking for. And that's one of my favorite jobs, when a cat gets adopted. And basically, it is we show them around the shelter how to open and close cages, how to sanitize their hands, and what we do. We just show them is mostly petting, brushing, they're interviewed as far as their experience, and then when they get more experience with the cats, then go to adoptions. And we do laundry if when needed, but there is a paid staff person that basically does the feeding and cleaning of litter boxes and laundry, but it's a lot for one person, so volunteers do whatever capacity is needed. We show the volunteers whatever they can do.
My perfect day would be starting surgery at 7 and working all the way through till 3 and leaving, and know that I just spayed 40 cats. We actually started, in our first week, we started charting how many we did, and I think, actually that's probably 2 weeks. We had done like 60 or 70 cats in the first 2 weeks, and we had, sounds kind of maybe sick in a way, but we aborted 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 37 kittens in 2 weeks, which means 37 feral kittens weren't born to live out of dumpsters and, fend for themselves and get hit by cars. And so that's like a really big deal for us. We feel like we've accomplished something important, because these are cats that people are trapping in their yards and are having litters and leaving them on doorsteps of people. So that was a really good week, good 2 weeks. And, I'd really like to see that be hundreds, if not thousands, in a year. That's my goal. And I think I can do it. I just need to get the word out that this is what we do and that we'll accommodate people any time of the day. They can walk in, no appointment needed. Just get them in and get it done. Don't wait. If you have a strong religious conviction that either birth control isn't natural or abortion isn't natural, you might sort of transfer that sense of humanity onto an animal and feel that it's not right to stop an animal from procreating because that's what God would want it to be, or nature would want it to be. Well, I suppose that is true, that nature intends cats to breed frequently because they don't all survive and to keep this species going. However, there are no predators for cats. Well, except coyotes, maybe, and raccoons. And they unfortunately can't make the decision to stop breeding. It's a natural thing and it just happens. And so we have to intervene. We can't just let nature take its course, because what happens is nature does its thing and then we as people turn around and kill them all. So we're actually murdering them after the fact rather than before they're breathing. So my philosophy is, when they're in the womb and they can't fend for themselves and they're relying on their mother's womb to survive, if I take them out before they've breathed their first breath, I feel like that's more humane than waiting till they're 8-week-old furry, playful kittens and then putting them in a cage, stabbing them with a needle and throwing them in a barrel because there's not enough room for all of them. I mean, which is worse?
They don't rehome them. They don't put them on either side of the Coyote Point shelter. Is 2 feeding stations and 1 feeding station. And they know that. It's not run by Peninsula Humane Society or the SPCA. It's run by Homeless Cat Network. And they kill all the ferals, and if she's got babies, the babies go too. That's what they do with them.
I could just stand on the soapbox with that. If there were people that were responsible, there would be no shelters, literally. Kittens come in here by the droves. I mean, kitten season, there's hundreds of kittens, and people dump the mother cats. They let cats out that are not spayed or neutered, and the population just grows and grows. And volunteers just, I think they just make a small dent in it. There's hundreds of organizations just in the Bay Area that trap, spay, and neuter, and take care of feral cats and release them to their colonies. But it's so irresponsible not to spay and neuter. But this is what it's about, people, not about the animals. It's about people not being responsible pet owners.
This is what makes this job rewarding, I'm telling you. Stuff like this.